You keep mentioning role-playing aspects, and personally, as a huge Games Workshop nerd, I'm very intrigued because I've wanted a good Warhammer 40k role-playing game for a long, long time. But how does it exactly work in the Dawn of War Relic kind of strategy game setting?
Well, the thing is, if we before we talked about, we have Company of Heroes and we have Dawn of War, the original Dawn of War, and these are melted together. On top of that, they have sprinkled a bit of Diablo. So there's actually loot in a strategy game. And
ooh, still might be taking World of Warcraft.
Exactly.
Part.
No, but you actually see enemies drop like Warhammers and you know, just big, huge guns and mines and grenades that you can just pick up. And after each mission, you can customize your character, like equip them, decide if you want to make them melee, just crazy melee tanks, or you want to just give them huge cannons to beat the enemies up on distance. And I mean, just adding that aspect to a strategy game is completely insane, and it just works. On top of that, you get to level up your units, dedicate skill points where you want to use them, and just make your complete own troops and use them as you want to use them. And further on in the game, it opens up even further, giving you access to new Terminated armor, which requires that you use other kinds of items and stuff like that. So it's really deep. It's not just a gimmick that they have put on top of a strategy game. It is really deep, and it really affects how you play the game.
The thing with the first Dawn of War, it's still a great strategy game. It wasn't that long time ago that I sat down with it again, considering all the expansion packs as well. But it's getting outdated graphically. It looked amazing when it came out, but Dawn of War 2, man, it looks good.
Yes and no. It at no point was I disappointed when it came to the graphics. No way, I wasn't. But actually, it's more of the animation and just the cool design of the Warhammer universe that really sells it, because you can find far more detailed graphics in other games, and that's fine and dandy. But when you see a dreadnought picking up an orc, looking at him and just smashing him to the ground, or you see orcs just running around with rickety rockets on the back and just throwing grenades and everything, it just comes to life. It looks, when you look at it that way and when you really see what's going on, it looks amazing. But detail-wise, like textures, and if you want to go into that sort of stuff, it's not the best-looking game ever. Definitely not. But that doesn't matter. I
guess that's the thing as an old 40k nerd, and going back to the fact that Relic is really good at capturing the feel of universes. That's good enough for me. just the thought of a dreadnought.
Yeah,
smashing or tearing up an orc.
Yeah, and in that way, Relic has really captured, even better than in Dawn of War 1, has really captured the whole Warhammer universe. Because when you finally unlock the Dreadnought unit, for instance, just talking about that, you feel like the most powerful son of a bitch in the universe. You really do. And I mean, I've just been telling people about the awesome sheer power of this Dreadnought, because it has one skill that, you know, that just goes, it takes this machine cannon and it just wipes everything into pieces. Goes from one side to the other side, and afterwards nothing is left standing. Even buildings crumble, and it just looks so good. And you really feel powerful. Instead of, had this been a game where you had just had 10 dreadnoughts, you wouldn't have felt the same kind of power at all. But you gain massive amounts of respect for the universe and for the units itself, and that's in itself an accomplishment.
Yeah, because that's something that the Games Workshop during the last couple of years has been working. They've been working their asses off just to protect the IP. Looking at, for example, Warhammer Online, and again now with Warhammer 40k and Relic's case, compared to other 40k games, and just looking at the universe, the end result is
amazing. I must say, I'm not the biggest buff when it comes to the 40k universe. I've always liked the design, but that was pretty much it. But here, I actually found myself caring about just the universe, more so than the story itself. The story is kind of blah. But in between, you get a lot of information about why the Space Marines exist as they do, what their beliefs are, and why they believe what they do. And they're, as you of course know, they're very, very religious. it goes so far that when playing the game, you're sitting there thinking, I'm not actually the good guy, because this is more of a religious like crusade, beating into other people that they should believe the same things as the Space Marines, and I mean just that the game is able to convey this is something really amazing that I haven't seen in a strategy game before. So I would have to say that it really does a good job of portraying the universe and respecting the universe.
So I can just sum the whole thing up with the fact that a tech priest would probably crush your head for calling a dreadnought's weapon a machine gun and an assault cannon.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Thomas, but
I'm a noob.
The Emperor does not approve.
No, I know.
So far, so good. Anything not that good?
I would like to say that this is a perfect game because it's a game that really explores a whole lot of new stuff and does it really good. And of course, it's a Relic game, and we love Relic. The thing is, though, that there is a lot of repetition in the missions, and that's my main gripe about the game. I love playing the game, but there's not a lot of maps. The game is set up so that there's tons of different missions that you do to acquire new loot and stuff like that. But there's not. These missions are placed on the same maps. So if you want one kind of loot, you actually get sometimes to play the same map 3 times in a row, and that gets boring. And I mean, it's just the way the game is built. The maps are really well done. Everyone should know that, but it is kind of sad to actually get to play the same levels again and again and again and again.
A strategy game with loot and a grind. It sounds amazing.
It is.